Big ass, how I get that ooh.
And now back to your regularly scheduled program.
What's goody YouTube? How's everyone doing? Welcome to the channel, or welcome back to yet another live reaction video. If you're new here for the first time, my name is TMR, and since you clicked on this video, you might as well subscribe to the YouTube channel, leave your comments down below, and enjoy this reaction video. What's goody YouTube? What's good, TMR gang? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to yet another live reaction video. I'm your girl TMR. Thank y'all so much for stopping what you were doing and meet me on this Jagon break room, y'all. All right, y'all. You see the title of the live stream. I've been telling you guys about this video that I came across. I think it was like last week sometime I came across the video. Came up in my recommended. Had never seen this channel before. Had never seen this guy before. But decided to click on the video based off the title. Okay. So again, although we are over here in the mommy community and some of the main topics we have been discussing when it comes to these moms, like you guys need a job, you guys need to get a job, kind of help yourself, stabilize yourself, want a better living for you and your family. But at the end of the day, and some of those conversations, if not all those conversations, obviously falls on deaf's ear. But I want you guys to listen to this because I don't think this necessarily have to do with the moms. I think this just has to maybe this can resonate with you, right? Maybe this is something you need to hear, something that you may be planning to do or wanting to do, a move that you've been wanting to make, and you've been a little reluctant or scared or nervous about making that move in your life on whatever you need to do, career wise or, personally or whatever. So, again, like I said, I typically like to listen. I typically like to listen to different people's conversations and see what they got going on. Because as we know, y'all, watching social media, it can get very convoluted with a lot of garbage and mess and stuff like that. But there are some people on this internet that are having real good conversations. And so let me get into this video. I don't want to talk too much longer. Good morning, everyone. Good morning to the break room. Y'all make sure y'all click the like button. Make sure y'all clock in. Um, you said I was really scared to move and get remarried, and I had to really push myself. I'm so happy I did. Yeah, I'm glad you did. Oh, what's consuming? You got married? Well, congratulations to you, sis. I didn't know that. So congratulations to you. All right, y'all. Let me get right on into the video. I want to give him as much time that we can have to listen to this guy's conversation. Yes, Miss Pearl, congratulations. Now, oh, okay, Suma, congratulations on that. All right, y'all, let's get into it.
I took my job for granted. All right. I remember last year when, content creators were posting, oh, YouTube's on easy mode. You know what I mean? They're posting their paychecks on YouTube. And I'm not going to hold you. That was very inspiring. When I seen what these creators are making, I was inspired, bro. My dumbass actually quit one of my jobs so I can pursue this, full time. And at the time, I was working as a registered nurse. I'm still a registered nurse, but I had quit from being full time and I switched to part time, right? I quit one of my jobs at a nursing home because it was a lot. It was a lot on my body, on my mind. They tried to give me over 60 patients, guys, just for myself. You know what I mean? So I made videos on that. Some of the videos I made talking about my experience working at the job, blew up and I made some money, bro. I thought, yo, this is it. I'm a YouTuber now. You know what I mean? Like my life is good. I was telling my coworkers about my YouTube channel, telling everybody I know about my YouTube channel, about how life is great now. I got a lot of my YouTube checks, and I also started making those same videos too. And I was posting it on YouTube. I showed guys everything I'm saying. I have receipts, right? I was posting on YouTube about how YouTube paid my mortgage, and I'm thinking, yo, bro, this is crazy, man. My YouTube channel is about to, you know what I mean? We about to what you gonna call it? We about to just pay off this whole mortgage, and life's about to be good, bro. Yo, come to find out, like 2 or 3 months later, man, I fell off, right? I fell off so hard, guys. I damn near got demonetized.
Good luck to you, though.
I don't even know it was possible, bro. When you're making a few bands every month and you thinking, okay, this is about to be it. And then the next month after
Hey,
that, bro,
Martha.
shit, my channel done. It was hard to even make $100 on YouTube, guys. It's crazy. At the time, man, I'm not gonna hold you. I felt like I was bragging, I was boasting, I was showing off, man. I was hyped. There's a hype that happens, guys. You get a little high when your channel first blows up and you get some traction on YouTube. You have to learn how to control yourself, to be real. And this is somebody who's a seasoned YouTuber at this point in my life. I'm not even that seasoned, but I've been on this for, I say, going on 3 years. So yeah, man, I seen that. And then after that, the revenue went down and I was like, oh crap. At the time when you pay for part-time health insurance, man, that thing gets very expensive as a nurse. So I have a family that I have to tend to,
Good
and
morning, Shay
you
Shay.
know, childcare was getting expensive in regards to like these bills I was getting from the insurance companies and all these things, and have to keep up with the insurance. And then my job wasn't giving hours like that, right? So I wasn't getting hours like that. YouTube channel revenues down, bro. I started to stress. I fell back into debt. Yo, at that point, I was like, nah, I'm quitting YouTube. I made a video talking about that in the beginning of this year. People didn't understand what I meant by that, because obviously I'm still here. But what I meant by me quitting YouTube was like, I didn't want to pursue YouTube like every other content creator, right? I wanted to use YouTube as a supplement. I wanted to use YouTube as a way for me to like journal, like therapy, to document my journey of me getting my life together. Because you know what? YouTube could work for somebody like that, right? That's phenomenal. But for somebody like me, bro, who was just trying to live a simple life, man, I don't know. I couldn't depend on an algorithm, bro, for my health insurance and for everything that I got going on as a father. You know what I mean? My goals of what I'm trying to do, what I'm trying to accomplish. I couldn't leave it to the hands of the algorithm. And no offense.
And so let me just say this real quick. So basically, this guy, his name is it Gabriel, or hold on, let me see what his name is. So basically, what he's saying is, he his name is Fitz Gabriel. He got into YouTube, during a lot of when a lot of people got into it during the pandemic, and at that time, everybody was sitting around waiting on the next basically episode. We didn't know what was going on, so a lot of people found solace in the internet, because we were locked in, we couldn't go outside, and so a lot of people found comfort in what other people had going on, and so a lot of YouTube channels blew up during that time, and I had never seen this guy. Like I said, he came in my recommended, and based off the title, I said, well, let me see what he's talking about. The title of the video was "People Were Quitting Their Jobs for YouTube, and Now They're Suffering." So that's the title of the video. So basically, he was like, he was doing real good, and then when the whole pandemic thing kind of subsided and people started transitioning back into normal life, a lot of these people channels and that went viral or blew up during the pandemic, people started doing other things, right? It was, Steve, it definitely was. So this is what he's talking about. He was dependent on the algorithm, and as a family man, he's a husband, he's a father. He was like, whoa, I can't, I got bills and stuff that are piling up. I gotta, take care of. But this is what happens when, in my opinion, when you follow what other people are doing and thinking what they got going on is going to be the same thing for you. And what works for one doesn't necessarily work for others. There are a lot of people that went through the pandemic and blew up and still are doing really good, or transition on to other things and doing real good with that, but he was basically talking about being dependent and having a family, dependent on him. And so he had to go back to what he knew. He went back to his nursing job. He's a nurse.
To anybody, right? I couldn't leave it to the hands of anybody, bro. right, guys? You're in charge of your life, of your destiny. And to be real with you, sometimes we come here and we talk about our goals and what we want to do, right? Even on YouTube, bro, people are praying for your downfall, man. They don't want to see you actually get to that point. They can't believe that you're actually about to do it. You know what I mean? So sometimes, guys, you just have to continue to grind and move in silence and just get the work done, right? Get it out the way. Then you could show people how'd you do it. You know what I mean? How'd you get there? But there's a lot of negativity out there. I try my best to not let it like cloud my judgment or change my heart. I don't want it to turn me cold. So I still come here and I share my journey with you guys so that this way you can learn from my mistakes, you know? So after I realized the mistakes
Yeah,
I
that's
made,
true, Miss
guys, I got
Girl.
another job. I switched from being part-time to full-time and I picked up another job, you know what I mean? It's a part-time job, but I basically work full-time hours, guys, and been busting my ass ever since, you know what I mean? Dropping the dick off every night, trying to have another baby. Um, thought it was about to happen for me, but unfortunately, you guys know what happened. Got a miscarriage, and you know what? The reason why I appreciate my job so much is because my boss realized something was off, and I started to realize something was off too. Because like I'd be focused, but then working in the ICU, sometimes you get cases that hits close to home. You know, what I mean, I get cases where females are coming in, hemorrhaging after delivering, and just a lot of cases, or people would come in with a miscarriage, and then it starts to hit really, you know, what I mean, it was too relatable. So at that point, spoke to my boss. She gave me the time off. Like, you know what? Take some time to heal, rest yourself. Guys, I have almost like 2 weeks off, right? It's paid for, bro. I couldn't do this on YouTube, bro. If you don't post on YouTube, you don't eat, gang. You know what I mean? You don't eat, bro. Like that's it. Oh, you want to fall off? You don't want to post, bro? I bet. People's attention span is gonna go somewhere else. They're gonna watch
Hey,
somebody
T-Will,
else,
good
and
morning.
you know what I mean, bro. And that's how it is with entrepreneurship in general. You know what I mean? YouTube could give you an idea of what it's like to be an entrepreneur because, you know what I mean, you eat what you kill, bro. Your view counts, your efforts, man, is everything that you've been doing. You know what I mean? The consistency, you showing up, and so
But you guys, I don't know if you guys know, a couple weeks ago, Tabitha Brown went viral. A lot of people didn't like what she had to say about entrepreneurs and basically telling them, I guess they took it like she was telling them to give up on their dreams. And a lot of people were upset behind Tabitha Brown's statement. And me personally, I listened to what Tabitha Brown said and I understood what she was saying. Um, we're not saying that you can't have a dream and you can't follow that dream, but obviously while you're working on that dream, you got to be working in real time too, because you still got to fund your everyday life. And so I understood what she was saying. I don't think she was telling people you'll never be an entrepreneur, it ain't gonna work for you. But I think she was saying, like, while you're trying to do that, you got to work too. Like, you have to work so you can keep up with everything else while you're trying to work on that dream. But I understand people listens to what others have to say, and a lot of times they'll misinterpret it. Sometimes I be feeling like people are like professional victims. Like, everything someone says, they take it to heart. And a lot of times people say things, it may not be comfortable for you to hear, but a lot of times it's them telling you something that you need to hear.
I'm just very grateful. I'm very grateful that I had the time to just be at home. I'm doing some stuff, for wifey, cleaning up, things that needs to be done that you also I'm gonna get to. That's what I'm doing now this week, and also just
Basically, that's all
being
she
a
was saying, Miss
father,
Girl.
being a husband. We're doing little fall activities, so I'm grateful, bro. And guys, like, I think we really took our jobs for granted, man. We really did because if you think about it, right, like, like YouTube don't offer that. I mentioned that to you guys. They don't offer that. They don't offer healthcare. I mean, they don't offer a
I agree,
401k.
Lisa.
You know what I mean? To have paid time off, to have a 401k, to have a pension if you guys have one, to have all these benefits, bro. It's phenomenal. And I took it for granted. I took it for granted, man. I used to come on this thing talking smack about, either a coworker or a supervisor who got on my nerves. And now, bro, hell no. Hell no. I watch my mouth. I don't even like talking about my job on this thing, bro, because I don't want to, have any type of, you know what I mean? discrepancies or any type of problems, bro, coming my way, man. You have nurses who took this thing for granted for real, bro. Twerking on TikTok on top of patients' heads and stuff like that. Bugging out, bro, blowing the bag, fumbling the bag, man. And I'm telling you, we're coming to a point, right, in our lives where having a job is going to be a luxury. It's going to be a luxury, guys. In August, right, the United States.
You hear that? He said, we're coming to a point in our life where having a job is going to be a luxury. Basically saying, I mean, even I think Suma just said this, and I think it was Suma. One of y'all just said this. In these day and times, it's good to have a W-2 and a 1099 going on at the same time. And essentially, what he's saying is, you got to have your real thing, and then you can have a bunch of side things going on at the same time. But I mean, even having a job is not 100% guaranteed because they laying off left and right, left and right, you know. But you definitely need to keep acquiring skill sets so you can be marketable in this economy.
States only created 22,000 jobs. Okay, it's supposed to be around 80,000, bro. We only created 22,000, bro. Here, bro. That people are posting how life is tough, how all these things is happening, and you know what? We have a trifecta of problems up our ass right now, man. Right? We got to worry about inflation. We got to worry about the terrorists, right? The terrorists, they're not even in effect right now. Okay, I think the Supreme Court have it on pause, but we have to worry about the tariffs. Then we got to worry about AI automation, man. Like all these things, bro, it sucks and it's not benefiting anybody, bro, especially the people who are jobless. You know what I mean? And it's like a reality check for a lot of people, especially if you're working in big tech, making over six figures, and then out of nowhere you get laid off, and you try to go on Indeed to try to apply for these jobs, and bro, they're not offering you what you used to get paid. So you have to put your pride aside. And let's say you're getting paid $80 an hour, you might have to settle for a job that's paying you $40 an hour, right? Half of your original salary. And so that right there is a change of lifestyle. And it's like, you know what I mean? It's like as a man, bro, your pride, bro, it starts to get affected, man. Because let's say your wife still is still working, bro. Now you're making less than her. You know what I mean? And honestly, I don't see why that matters, but for some guys it does. You know what I mean? They want to be the breadwinner. They want to know that they're making more money, and you know, and when you're making a X amount of money one day, and then the next day you're making like half of your salary, that doesn't feel good at all. So what I see is a lot of people starting to get into like they started crashing out, bro, on their own families, bro. A lot of domestic violence, people depending on vices, alcohol,
Yeah, you have to,
drugs, and
Pearl.
it's getting bad, bro. It's getting so bad. And what's bad is at one point people were like, nah, I don't want to go for the job that's gonna pay me half of my old salary. And then after a while you realize, damn, like I'm not even qualified for unemployment. So I just need a job. You know what I mean? So you try to give in your resume, um, and then they're gonna tell you you're overqualified, right? That's messed up. Now you got to take some stuff off of your resume because you don't want to intimidate them. You know what I mean? And then they're gonna offer you $20 an hour, bro. You're gonna be so desperate. You're like, fuck it, bro. I need this, bro. Matter of fact, I gotta start DoorDashing now. I gotta start doing whatever it takes to put food on the table, man. And so like, yo, it's really bad because then those jobs, bro, they're not even calling you back. It could be a simple job at a grocery store, bro. Because you got to understand, there's a lot of jobs that AI are taking over, like your basic entry level jobs. AI and automation that is doing is taking over. So people who don't have a college degree to begin with, they're already fighting over these jobs. And here you go with your nice, sparkly college degree, and you're trying to get these jobs now. And hell no, you're not going to get it. There's a waiting list, bro. There's a waiting list. So like I'm telling you, man, some people they're one paycheck away from being homeless. You know, we used to look at these people on the street, and we used to look at them and judge them like, damn, why don't you just get a job? How are you homeless? And now it's all starting to make sense, right? It's all starting to make sense. And this is why, guys, like we can't take our jobs for granted, right? If you still have a job right now, guys, you can't be fumbling the bag. Okay, you cannot be fumbling the bag at all. Like I am no longer materialistic, right? I am no longer a consumeristic person. Like if you guys look at my videos, I recycle the same clothes. all the time.
But you know what? He's telling the truth though. Like you just can't take these jobs for granted. Because with AI and a lot of other things that's going on, a lot of these um like customer service. I even seen a report where they said that AI could eventually take over teaching jobs. Like teaching jobs or outside of tech, teaching jobs is another profession that could be taken over by AI. You know, like it's a lot. And him saying a lot of people are one paycheck away from being homeless, that's a true statement. I mean, anytime, just what, 6 years ago, a dozen of eggs was less than $1. 6 years later, a dozen of eggs is $5. We're not talking, we understand over time things have changed, the prices of things have went up, right? We understand that. We understand that, we've been seeing it for years, right? But the fact that you go so drastically from 6 years ago, a dozen of eggs being $1 to 6 years later, not even six, because when this egg started going about 2 years ago, a dozen of eggs, like it's crazy. But that's the thing, you guys. Like, um, you gotta put yourself in a position where you got several ways to make money. Like, let's be honest, y'all. You just can't depend on a job. You gotta have stuff. And one thing I was watching this video where they were talking about AI taking over a lot of jobs, but the one thing that AI can't take over is jobs that require physical labor, like plumbing, electrician, HVAC. Yeah, AI can't take over those type of jobs because those jobs require manual labor. So, even if you maybe thought about getting into something like that, and here's the thing, y'all, I'm not telling y'all what to do or how to do it. I'm just throwing out some suggestions. I'm just, you know, just putting some things, some food for thought. Let me just say it like that. This is just some food for thought. Obviously, y'all do what you want to do with your own lives, obviously, but I just feel like I would be, doing a grave disservice if I didn't talk to you guys about things that I think about. Because at the end of the day, I'm human, just like y'all are. I go through things just like y'all do. My mind is always constantly going about the future and what things are going to look like a year from now, 2 years now, 3 years from now. And you, especially if you have children still under the age of 18 at home, you got to think about stuff like this.
Time, bro. I recycle the same clothes. There's some things that's just not important to me. If it
Hey,
doesn't make me
Joy.
happy,
Hey,
I
Simone.
don't
Hey,
get it. I don't
Wicked.
buy it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have much friends anyways anymore, right? Like, I have nobody I need to impress. I'm not on social media trying to seek approval. So it's like you guys have to be very methodical about every single paycheck you get. If you get paid bi-weekly, you need to really give your paycheck a plan, bro. You're gonna have to start budgeting. I know people don't like that word, but man, you're gonna have to budget to save your life at this point.
Yeah,
Okay,
EB.
because you don't know
EB.
how much
EB.
longer you're gonna have that job. Okay, your job, your boss, bro, the CEOs, man, they have an undercover plan, bro. Like, you gotta see what's going on in the economy, man. This is beyond a recession. This thing could turn into a damn near depression. You know what I mean? And I know you guys are seeing this stuff in the news, all these tariff things, all these big beautiful bill things, and you as a nurse, or no matter what you do for a living, you think you're safe. And I want to tell you guys, we are not safe, bro. They will replace us with robots. They will replace us. Anything these companies got to do, because you got to think about it. The easiest way to save costs, right, is by eliminating their biggest expense. Their biggest expense is payroll. Having to pay you, man. When they get their profits and they look like, damn, I gotta pay y'all. Shit, I gotta pay y'all. Fuck, man. So they're gonna pay you, but eventually, man, you're gonna get an email that says, bro, sorry, man, because of the way we restructure the company plan, but yada 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 yada. Then they're gonna lay you off, bro. And it's wild because you're gonna go on the news and see how they made record breaking profits, and how life is going good for them and how the CEO got richer. Meanwhile, bro, now you're laid off. You don't even have any health benefits, bro. You have no way to put food on the table. And that's crazy. So that's why I'm telling you guys, don't take your job for granted. All right. Start budgeting your money right now. Give your job an assignment. Give your paycheck. Literally, your paycheck, right, is like a report card of your week. You know what I mean? Make sure you meal prep. Make sure you say, okay, like I'm gonna put $20 towards my credit card debt. I'm gonna continue to live a boring lifestyle. I'm gonna stay home. I'm gonna stay down for the next 2 to 3 years, right? And within these 3 years, listen, man, I'm locked in, and there's gonna be a lot of people that's gonna be like, "Oh, what happened? Why you changed, bro?" To hell to all these people. No offense, man, because you got to be so locked in. If they don't understand that this is all about survival at this point, if they're not locked in with you, if they're not on that same type of time with you, bro, it's okay. There's nothing needs to be explained. Okay, nothing needs to be explained. Okay, because guys, things are gonna get 10 times worse before they get better. All right. People think that when they drop the interest rates, oh, everything's going to be better. It's not going to be better for you. It's going to be better for the rich people. You know why? Because now they get to borrow money, cheaper money. They get to leverage this money into like CEOs, bro. You think they're going to use this to reinvest into their business? Some will. Some will hire more people. You see McDonald's, right? They brought back the value meal. But then some CEOs, bro, you know what they're gonna do, bro? They're just gonna reinvest into their business. They're gonna buy more stock, man, and they're just gonna
Yeah,
get
he's a
richer.
nurse, mind you.
They get to borrow money with a lower interest rate. You know what I mean? They get to buy more properties, and the debt they have is cheaper, bro, and they get to just optimize every single dollar. There, and what happens is, bro, it increases inflation. It's gonna worsen inflation. So you don't have a job right now, bro. What that means is freaking you go to the grocery stores to buy eggs, it's already $10, right? Now, because of inflation worsening, it's about to be $15. My nigga, you don't have a job, bro. Whether it's 10, whether it's 15, now you're hungry, gang. I'm not talking about you can't do your nails. I'm not talking about you can't do your hair. I'm talking about you're hungry. Now you're getting into credit card debt to buy food, bro. Right? You're using Klarna to do DoorDash,
No,
bro.
he had
You're
a
making
job,
payment
mind you.
plans to eat
He
while everybody else is getting
quit his
richer.
job when he started
See
doing
what I'm trying to
really
say,
good on
guys? We can't
YouTube.
take our jobs for
Then he
granted,
went
man.
back to work.
We really can't. You got a job right now, man. You got to get rid of all your consumer debt, right? You got to get rid of all your consumer debt. And it has to be a change in your mindset. You have to want to escape the rat race. I know you guys, some people's going to be like, oh, and maybe I need a new degree. Let me go for nurse practitioner. Let me go for CRNA. Let me go for this. Let me go for that. People are looking at me and they're telling me, right? Because I work in ICU, and you guys know, some people know, right? Whenever you work in these hospitals, bro, everybody be about the titles, right? They look at your titles and they associate titles with success, but that's not true. If that's the case, all doctors would be millionaires, and that's not the case. You know what I mean? But then people are asking me, "Oh man, when are you going back to school? Don't you want to be a nurse practitioner? Don't you want to be a CRNA?" And I'm like, "No, man, I'm not trying to take any more debt. Why would I want to take on any more debt? Like it doesn't like people think you need more income. Income is not the problem. It's what you do with your money, guys. You guys want to escape the bedside. You guys want to live all your dream life, but then when you get more money, you increase your lifestyle, and that's the problem. You get a fancier car, you get a fancier house, you live above your means, you start traveling, and guys, shit ain't sweet right now. Shit ain't sweet because now let me tell you something. If you get laid off, right, let's say you couldn't believe it, bro, you work as a nurse and now your job was placed in one of these rural areas, and now the big beautiful bill happens and boom, you don't have a job. What are you going to do, man? How are you going to pay for your luxury car? How are you going to pay for your big old mortgage? You know what I mean? How are you going to pay for your credit card payments? All these loans, all these personal loans you took. How are you going to pay for these things, guys? How are you going to pay for your student loan? You can't file bankruptcy for your student loans. You see what I'm trying to say? So like, guys, simplify your life. You know what I mean? I mean, for me, escaping the rat race is simple, bro. I want to live a life where I don't owe anybody anything, right? We're down to our last debt. Okay. I already told you guys my mortgage balance. I told you guys 110,000. It's less than that now. I'm not even gonna say anything. Maybe I will reveal in the future. Stay tuned for that. But I'm telling you, man, I'd rather get rid of every single debt in my life. I'm not playing this game with y'all about the leveraging, about how, oh man, I have a low interest rate, right? So people say, no, man, you can make way more money by investing into the S&P 500 and this and that. But let me tell you something, bro. If you don't have a job and you get laid off, right? Who gives a damn about the S&P 500, bro? You know, there's so many people right now, bro, who had to drain their high yield savings, who had to drain their investments. Now they're looking at their 401k like, fuck it, bro. I'm about to drain this too because I got to eat. You know what I mean? So I'm being very conservative right now, and I am eliminating all the debt in my life. I'm building a 1 year high.
I think what he's saying, Lisa, is eliminating the debt. He basically saying he doesn't want to go get his nurse practitioner or CRN degree because it would put him in debt to do so. So he's a registered nurse. So I guess he's saying I'm gonna just do with this, eliminate all my debt and just basically manage the paycheck that he's getting in by eliminating his debt. If he eliminate his debt, then the paycheck and I do understand what you're saying. If he has more certificate and degrees, he could be more marketable. I understand what you're saying, but I guess he has a different look at it. He wants to get rid of all his debt, and then maybe at that time he can pursue something different. I think that's what he's trying to say or what he's saying.
High yield savings, guys, because think about it, bro. Imagine having no debt at all, no credit card debt, no student loans, no car payments, no mortgage, right? You don't have a mortgage, guys. Okay. And all you have is 1 year's worth of savings in your high yield savings. At that point, yeah, whatever. You can go back to investing in your 401k, your brokerage, crypto, but as a man, right? Nobody can kick you out of your house. Okay. Yes, I understand. We have to pay property taxes. If you live in a condo, you have an HOA. I totally get it. But you know what? At the end of the day, bro, something was to happen to you, right? You have the deed to your crib, and you could have your wife hold that, bro. You can give her that security as a man, guys. It hits different. It really does hit different because then you get to do things differently. As a man, you could retire your wife. She don't need to work as hard because you don't have that much expenses at this point. You see what I'm trying to say? Instead of sending your kids to daycare, they can stay at home. You know what I mean? You're like, guys, think about it. I want you to dream about this thing. How would your life look like when you do this? Do you need to pick up that overtime? Right? Do you have to work all these hours? I'm telling you guys, like I be trying to explain this to some people who were telling me to go back to school, who are telling me to do this, do that, but they don't see the vision. They don't see how I'm trying to escape the rat race. I really hope you guys see what I'm trying to do here. I'm talking about being self-sufficient, right? I totally get it. There's gonna be people talking about, oh, you know what, like investing is beating, I'd rather invest my, blah 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 blah. And then, but why do you want a daddy? Right? If your mortgage is being serviced by like Jamie Dimon, for example, Jamie Dimon's your daddy. Why do you want a father in these times, bro? I'm daddy. You feel me? I'm dad. I want my kids to know that, listen, I'm providing the shelter here. Okay. Like, you know what I mean, guys? Like eventually I want to be my own bank too. That's just how I want to move. You know what I mean? Because I don't trust these companies. I don't trust these CEOs, right? Because when they have to make their moves, when they have to do what they got to do, they just do it, bro. They're going to lay you off no matter how much money you make. Matter of fact, if you make a lot of money, you're in trouble. The more money you make, bro, you are in trouble, man. So I know we like to optimize and, make use of our dollars.
You know what? The more money you make, you definitely can be in trouble. I want to bring a video to you guys about a lady I saw, black woman, got laid off her job after being there for 25 years. Now, the one good thing about her, she's very artsy. She was able to horn into her craft. She makes like wreaths, like decorative wreaths for your doors, and she has other businesses going on. So she was able to lean on that alongside with her YouTube channel. But she had been on her job for 25 years, and they let her go.
Of our dollars, and you want to have every dollar working and everything like that. But right now in these times, guys, while we have these trifecta of problems, inflation, We have AI, like I said, and the job market. I don't know, bro. You need to sleep good at night. You need to have security. And with pain, there's profit. So, like, you know what? Imagine if you get rid of all your debt, now you have all this money in your
Being an
pocket. Now you
RN
can
is
stack
bigger
up. Now
than
you
a
can
nurse
save. Bro,
practitioner.
things are gonna get worse. You know, people are gonna be struggling. Things are
Mm,
gonna get really bad. People are gonna lose their
no,
homes. They
I
won't be
think
able
a
to pay
nurse
for their
practitioner
mortgage.
is bigger
But
than
you
an
know what?
RN
For the
because a
people
nurse
who's been
practitioner is
preparing,
almost
the
like a
people who've
doctor.
been grinding, bro, it's gonna be opportunity for you. It's gonna be opportunity for you. That's how Dave Ramsey got rich in 2008. You know, people were struggling. They couldn't pay for their mortgages.
But you can have
A
a
lot of
master's
homes went into
degree as an
foreclosure,
RN
and
too.
he was locked in, right? He was locked in. His show wasn't even as big as it was then. He stacked up some bread. You know, of course, he sold some books. That's how he made some more money. But after that, bro, boom, bro, he was able to capitalize and he bought all these homes, bro, in cash. And then as time went on, the value went up. You see what I'm trying to say? Yo, man, like you guys gotta be prepared, man, because success is gonna come your way. Success is gonna happen, you know what I mean? But like you have to be willing to just be bored, be lonely, stay at the crib, you know what I mean, doing the same old thing, eating the same old food, bro. Like, God, sometimes I eat the same old boring meal, bro. The chicken, like because I know I could, I just make some meal prep my chicken, my quinoa, and I eat the same thing for the entire week. And when I get paid, bro, like I only give myself $200, and then the rest, bro, is invested or is being saved or it's going towards the, you know what I mean, the mortgage, man. Because I want to do this fast. I want to do this as fast as possible, bro. That's why I'm trying to use my youth because I don't care about capitalizing and optimizing every single dollar. You know, I know like we should, but like guys, I'm not just trying to make all this money and say, oh, I have some 6 million, 7 million, and then I have all this money and I don't have my health, right? I don't want to just chase all this money and then I don't spend time with my wife and my kids, right? Because your kids, they don't ask for that, right? They'd rather have their parents at home. They'd rather have their family. You're gonna show them all these nice stuff that you can get them, but they didn't really ask for all these things. You know what I mean? I think what they really want is your time, man. And right now we're not giving them our times. You know, we're going crazy chasing a dollar, trying to be multimillionaires. You get to a multimillionaire level, now you want to be a billionaire. And you know what? Like your life is so short, man. Look at what happened with the pandemic. Look at how many people, you know how many millionaires and billionaires that died right in front of me? That I had to wrap up in body bags and, their family is just all they can do is just offer us like new things within the hospital. Like, you know what, we're gonna change this wing and we're gonna title it the whatever their family name may be. You know what I mean? But like, what's that gonna do, bro? You're dead. You know what I mean? So I don't know, guys. I feel like right now, man, I'm not trying to go on a tangent, and I'm definitely off rail with this rant, but like we have to be on our defense right now with this economy because these jobs, they don't care about us in a sense where if it comes down to them and their family and their bag, they're gonna lay you off. You know, they
I mean, he's right. These jobs don't care anything about you. You definitely got to look out for you. Once upon a time, jobs really invested in their employees with pensions and things of that nature. You know, a lot of that went to the wayside when 911 happened, and a lot of companies had to reconstruction and things of that nature. So my to me personally, I feel like to be a young man, be a father, a husband. I think he has the right train of thought, because let's think about it, y'all. There's lot of men his age who's not even thinking like him. It's the fact that he's even thinking about, in the event that something happens to him, he'll have a clear deed, and his wife would have, a deed, something that she can hold on to when he's no longer present because of, say for instance he passes on. So him speaking like that makes a lot of sense. It's him sitting in the car just thinking and decided to share his thoughts with his audience. And let's be honest, that could probably, his conversation could probably help somebody. His conversation could probably encourage somebody to do something a little different in their life to benefit them in the long run, right? Because he's not lying. Like, to get yourself out of the rat race of debt, it is obviously profitable, right? Because it'll make your paycheck stretch longer. That's why a lot of people are struggling with their paychecks because they have more money coming out, going out, than they have money coming in, right? And then so other people say, well, just get another job to help that. Well, then now you're spending more time away from home, especially if you're a parent, you have children, you're spending more time. And then let's be honest, the body is a machine. And when you don't oil a machine, if you don't take care of a machine, what does it do? It breaks down, right? So, so I appreciated his conversation. Again, his name is Fitz Fitz Gabriel Fitz Gabriel. If you guys are interested in going to check his channel out and see what he's talking about, I definitely would encourage that. Like I said, we can definitely do reactions on these moms, but I like to bring real conversations to y'all too, because at the end of the day, we watching how these chicks living, but we got lives we're living too. So if I can introduce a conversation to y'all to get the wheels turning, I'm going to do that, because a lot of times you don't never know where people are at, what they got going on, where their mindset is at, and sometimes it just takes a conversation to give somebody some thoughts and be like, you know what, that don't sound bad. Like, maybe I should try to implement that in my life. Now, granted, everybody's lives are different. We all have different things going on. So what he got going on, maybe it may not suit you, but but then again, maybe it can suit you. It doesn't hurt to, at the end of the day, we're all living in this world, and essentially we're all doing the same thing as living. We're living and we're trying to survive, and maybe your way of survival is different for somebody else. But if somebody else is doing what you're doing, which is surviving, but they got a different way of doing it, maybe you could implement some of their tactics to make your survival a little easier for you. um Neek said, yes, he was a breath of fresh air to listen to outside of these moronic mothers. Thank you, Team, for switching it up. Oh, yeah, you're welcome, sis. I love this type of conversation because it can really help others consider another stream of income. Yes. Thank you, Pearl. Yeah, go ahead and sub to him. He has like 15,000 followers. Y'all go sub to him. I don't know how active he actually is on his channel, but he definitely puts up videos. Now, this video got a lot of views. He put up this video a few weeks ago and it had like 60,000 views, and he doesn't have 60,000 subscribers. Obviously, based off the title, people were intrigued to want to see what he had to talk about. And essentially, the conversation started off with him depending on YouTube, thought he was going to become hood rich on YouTube because he's seen how other people on social media living. So he thought that was going to work for him. And unfortunately, he quickly realized, yeah, the algorithm was good when it was good, but now it's not as good as it used to be. And I can even say that, y'all. The way I used to get paid for videos 5 years ago is not how I'm getting paid. I mean, obviously I'm still getting paid, but it was grand a few years back. It definitely was. And so that's when we streamline the conversation back down to these moms and how they live. And I think for the most part, a lot of us logical, critical thinking individuals, a lot of the things that we're saying, we're just trying to lend a hand. We're just trying to, give some encouraging words. Sometimes it may not be as nice, but essentially, I think we all are have the good mindset of telling them, y'all really need to try to do something in addition to what you're already doing, so you can live a little better. I love this type of conversation because, oh, okay, I promise y'all, when you are in your 30s and you work hard, it pays off when you get in your mid 50s. SC Johnson, yeah, that's true. That's so true. It's always a breath of fresh air to hear someone with intelligence and common sense. Yes, that's it, but common sense is not so common nowadays. Relying on the algorithm is why the moms ain't got ish. Everybody got a regular job, but they dirty. I mean, like I said, you can still make money on social media, so that's what they're doing. But I guarantee you guys, the money that cover girl, the money those ladies are making now is nowhere near the money they were making 3 years ago, 4 years. Y'all remember Olivia told us she didn't make so much money she didn't even know what to do with it, you know. And I've only been watching her for 6 years, so that was probably at least 3-4 years ago. She was making really, really good money, and now she's not. And so now they've had to resort to coming to the internet, you know, asking the internet for basic necessities like rent, utilities, and things of that nature, or whatever they're using the money for. Again, I don't know what they're using their money for, but like I said, it's a conversation. I wanted to share this with you guys, but I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all go. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all day. Y'all be good. Y'all be great. And we'll be back with another one. Remember, sub what you love. Bye.